everyone, welcome to a special edition of political talk show Global Discussion on CBC channel. I am Anastasia Lavrina. Today in our edition we will talk about the Madrid Principles, which refer to the phased settlement of Armenia-Azerbaijan-Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. In particular, we will try to answer the question why official Yerevan, Armenia, denies the existence of the documents which were adopted in the frame of the negotiation process since the start of the conflict. The guest of my program is Mr. Farid Shafiyev, who is the chairman of the board of the Center for International Relations Analysis. Mr. Shafiyev, hello and welcome to Global Discussion.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Mr. Shafiyev, let's talk about this main question. Why official Yerevan, Armenia, denies the existence of any kind of documents which refers to Madrid Principles and which is about the phased settlement of Armenia-Azerbaijan-Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. Previous government of Armenia accepted the existence of these documents. But when we see it since 2018 and even before, we see that Yerevan denies. Why it's happening?
Yes, let's look what's going on within the negotiations. We have ceasefire since 1994. We have the established Minsk Group format since March 1992. Established format, it was changing. It has changed over time. There was the one chair and then two co-chairs, and now since 1997 we have three co-chairs: US, France, and Russia. The both sides under auspices of the co-chairs of the Minsk Group working on the negotiations. And in 2007, this group has reached the agreement on so-called Madrid Principles. It was announced in 2007, 13 years ago. And then 2 years later, there was the updated Madrid Principles. So we have now 11 years of talks about Madrid Principles. Especially I would like to highlight the role of Russian chairmanship, co-chairmanship, because Russia initiated several documents, several talks. I'm speaking about Kazan talks, Moscow declarations, etc. So there was documents, and last time the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russian Federation, Sergei Lavrov, in April, speaking at the Garchukov Foundation, he mentioned that there was there were documents on the table, and both sides should continue to work towards the resolution. Last year in 2019, there was a summit meeting in Vienna, and both sides agreed on substantive steps on preparation of population to peace. But what we see, what kind of development we see now, that the Armenian side deliberately trying to derail the negotiation process. I was speaking about some provocative statements before, the infamous statement by Pashinyan that Nagorno-Karabakh is Armenia. The goal of Armenian side, of Armenian nationalists, is to postpone the resolution for indefinite period, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. According to their plan, okay, they perfectly understand now that the circumstances, the international community, international law does not allow Armenia to annex Nagorno-Karabakh, because the goal is, as Armenian Prime Minister declared last year, is the miatsum in Armenian language, unification of Nagorno-Karabakh with Armenia.
To keep the annexation.
Yes, to keep annexation. So they now, I mean, not now, but for a long time they realize that they won't be able to reach that goal. So the strategy to postpone, to solidify the fait accompli, the status quo on the occupied territories, and then maybe in 20 years situation will change, will be favorable. And I just would like to remind that we have across the globe, we have several conflicts which last for 70, 50, 60 years. We are not in Middle Ages. We have, yes, maybe with some problems. We have United Nations, we have international law, we have United Nations Security Councils, and where decisions remain valid. United Nations Security Council resolutions related to the conflict were adopted in 1993, and where, last resolutions where reconfirmed territorial integrity of Azerbaijan. Speaking about Madrid principles, it's not just documents like two sides agreed for the short period of time. There was big work, previous work done on reaching the sort of the consensus on Madrid principles. And Madrid principles, they stipulate the phased approach. All international experts in the field, policymakers, based on the experience with other conflicts, they all say that it's impossible to reach the peace, to reach the reconciliation in a short time. Unfortunately, this conflict was bloody, full of violence, and it's not possible to reconcile in a short period of time. What experience manifests that sides should make several steps. The Madrid principles indeed stipulates the return of refugees, opening of communication lines, etc. To create sort of the environment favorable to the future reconciliation. I know it's hard to talk about reconciliation now after such a burden of the past violence, but look at the European experience. Europe had two bloody wars during the 20th century. Now we have European Union. We have European Union. Sometimes Armenian nationals say, the South Caucasus is not Europe, and we are not European. The countries doesn't have European experience. First of all, we politically part of Europe. Secondly, I would say all this comparison is quite relative. We're looking at Europe now with all this positive experience with the minorities and territorial integrity. Indeed, two principles which basically all countries of European countries reconfirmed the Helsinki Final Act. It's about territorial integrity and about the protection of minorities. Yes, there was also self-determination, the principle of self-determination, but if they look closely at the international experience, international law, self-determination within territorial integrity. We have minorities, German minorities, France, Austrian minorities in Italy, Hungarian minority in Slovakia. It doesn't mean that their existence, the development without clouds. There are problems from time to time, but still the principles are there: the territorial integrity, the minority protection. Moreover, when we're speaking about some, today it's, I know the people looks at some other regions outside of Europe, or let's say outside of Western Central Europe, all the conflicts in Middle East, with bit, I would say, stereotypes. Yes, South Caucasus maybe was not a part of, let's say, traditional Europe, but at the same time, if we speak about the quite negative history, the dark pages of European history, South Caucasus, we never had the concentration camps. We didn't have, we didn't burn people, Yes, violence happened. Let's recall Khojale and some other, incidents. Children and women were killed. But again, it's all relative comparison. I would say that the South Caucasian countries can produce some good examples. Has good experience to offer to the European countries too. So sooner or later we have to start negotiations.
Definitely, we have to start negotiations, and as you mentioned, some politicians, in particular Sergei Lavrov, who is a Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russian Federation, also refer to these Madrid principles. And I'm more than sure that other co-chairs of Minsk Group OSCE also quite often think about these documents existed in the frame of this negotiation process. So probably these countries should press Armenia and make a pressure on the government, because this negotiation process lasts already almost 30 years and there is something to be done. And if we accept something and then denies, then definitely it will last forever, which is, as you mentioned, in the interest of official Yerevan. So probably the countries co-chairs of Minsk Group OSCE should press Armenian government not to play the game, but think seriously about the possible resolution of the conflict.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with you. The Armenian leadership, current leadership, definitely played the game. You know, Pashinyan put forward seven principles to restart negotiations. You know, and even as we said, they deny existence of any documents on the negotiations table. And it's not Azerbaijan, you know, it's, you know, our co-chairs. It's Russian Federation said that we have documents. So who is lying? The first. But about the activity of Minsk Group co-chairs, they usually tell that, you know, we're mediators. We should be sort of the neutral, balanced. But we came to the stage when basically Armenian leadership, they nullified, they denounced the result of at least 11 years of negotiation, because the last updated Madrid principles were adopted in 2009, you know, as a basis for negotiations. And previous, and even, I mean, not only this government, the previous regime was also playing games, you know, trying to postpone, as I said in my first, responding to your first question, that they would like to postpone the resolution for indefinite time. Now it's time, indeed, to speak firmly with one side, with Armenia, because it's Yerevan which derails the negotiation process. A last statement by Minsk Group co-chairs made on July 24th. After that, what development we see? Armenians began resettling Lebanese Armenians to the occupied territories. It's in violation of international law, you know. It's
and they do not hide this.
They don't hide.
Openly
they
demonstrate.
do it openly. They declare that. The spouse of Armenian Prime Minister Anna Kopian, she a year ago, she made a statement and appeal to the women of Azerbaijan, you know, about, you know, the peace messages, you know, and now she went to the occupied territories of Azerbaijan for military training. So we see that Armenian side deliberately is provoking, is deliberately destroying the negotiation process.
Does Azerbaijan still believe in relevance of these documents after all of these circumstances?
That's what we have on the negotiation table. And as I said, it's the Madrid principles, it's the result of many years of work from all sides, from co-chairs, from Azerbaijan, from Armenia too.
So Azerbaijan is ready to follow?
Yes, we're ready to restart, because I don't think we now in position after 26 years to think about any new documents. So documents are there. It's not perfect, by the way, for Azerbaijani side too. There are some moments, let's say, some elements of this document, even they contradict to the constitution of Azerbaijan. But at least we came to some sort of the agreement. This is the basis for further negotiations. And I can, at this stage, just cannot accept this sort of the phraseology about balanced neutrality. We have all clear situation. One side which occupies Azerbaijani territory and would like to keep status quo, period.
Well, let's hope that the process will be going on and Armenia will not try to deny the existence of these important documents. Thank you very much, Mr. Shafiyev, for this interview.
Thank you.